Hello, guys, and welcome to Miss German Let's Talk. Here we dive into the wildest, funniest, and darkest stories that we can potentially find on the internet. Let's get right into it. So grab a drink, sit back, and let's get right into today's episode because we have another Reddit user asking a question here. What's your workplace scandal? So let's get into the first comment. A divorced couple worked at my company in separated departments. The ex-husband went to the ex-wife's house to pick up their kids one night and got into an argument with the ex-wife's boyfriend, who was a cop. The cop shot him. The ex-husband died. The ex-wife was not exactly contrite about it. I can imagine. For weeks or even months after that, the ex-husband's co-worker went on a warpath against the ex-wife and her supportive co-workers. This is an HQ for a big company, and there were regular outbursts if those people saw each other in the lobby, elevator, cafeteria, etc. It was wild. Okay, well, that is a ride or die situation right there, guys. That is I don't even know. Is there any charge against a cop? It's dependable on state, isn't it? In the U.S., for example, like it's when you're shooting someone, but it's a cop, but you're on private property, and they're out of like he's just a cop, but he's out of shift. He's not actively working. Is there any charges that the cop no that the cop would have because the cop shot him? So it's kind of interesting. Well, anyways, next story. Walking past my colleague Doris, middle of the afternoon, and looked in his office door window, saw him absolutely shagging the shit out of an intern. At the same time, another colleague also stopped, saw the same thing. He called our boss, who came, and a small group watched them to have to leave the office and go down to HR. Well, standing in the hall of shame. What a walk of shame. Next story. Years ago, I worked at a company that hired a sales guy who was pretty hardworking and definitely put out a I am trying to come back from a dark time in my life kind of vibe. We all really liked him as a first impression, but we didn't get a chance to know him very well. One day he went out to his car and lunch drank himself to a point of insensibility, then came back into the office like nothing was wrong. When his boss called him on it, he took a swing at him and missed by a mile, spinning himself around and almost falling over. He was immediately fired. I don't even think there was paperwork involved. He was only a few weeks into the job and escorted out of the building, but by unspoken rules, no one talked about the incident. Enough time has passed now. I don't even remember the guy's name and really any more about it than I've said. Damn. I mean, is it right to fire him when when some person misbehaves one time and is actually a very nice guy, misbehaves once at work? Is it really necessary to that seems like a guy who has just like a lot of demons, right? And we all go through like a dark time in our life, but if we're trying and then we're losing a job, that was I don't know if that was be considered as insensible by his boss, actually, but that could also just be me being a nice person and be like, oh, and in the position of the boss, maybe I would think, okay, I don't want to have to shit in my company, so there we go, you're out, which is quite fair as well, to some extent. Next story. When I was in high school, I got a job in a local chain drugstore. After I was there about a month, I showed up for work and was greeted by corporate security. Apparently, the entire management staff, as well as the bulk of the store's employees, were fired and arrested as part of a mass theft ring. Apparently, they were issuing fake merchandise refunds to their credit cards, as well as voiding cash transaction and pocketing the cash. They managed to restaff the store temporarily with employees from other locations, but I went from being the new kid to the senior associate pretty quickly, lol. I ended up being there for 4 years And it was great because most of the new part-time employees were kids my age. We had a lot of fun. Um, yeah, well, you see, didn't work out well for them as it shouldn't, but it worked out really well for you guys. Yeah, it can be quite fun, like being with someone, having the same job, being in the same situation that you can like somehow somehow you are like connected to them because you're in the same age and then you can have a lot of fun. So turned out to be a good thing for you at the end. Like, is it the good thing that you're the senior associate? If you know what you're doing in your job, good. If not, well, next story. A few years back, I was working for a national nonprofit, one of the ones that trying to cure a disease kind of companies. We all got called into a mandatory meeting first thing one morning, and that meant folks calling in from all over the country, probably 2,000 of us total. We were told that our CEO's wife has been murdered and set on fire. It was tragic. That's not tragic, that's a crime. Couple hours later, they called a second meeting to tell us it was one of our co-workers that did it. That was a mindfuck of a meeting. Turns out the dude was stealing from the charity in a big way, got caught, and the CEO gave him a chance to turn himself in. Wow, damn. Instead, he drove to the CEO's house, killed his wife, set her on fire, and speed away, crashing into a tree and killing himself. It was never quite the same at work. CEO left and never set foot in the office or in his house again. That is that is incredibly sad and crazy. Like, I can't imagine what this man went through. Like, his whole life just went all the way down. He didn't went through the fucking. He went through the holy crap fucking because see it as this: you're a CEO, you have a good company, everything goes well, you have a national nonprofit company, and you're trying to do something like, I don't know, cure a disease, make the world a better place, right? And then you have your kids, your wife, and everything, and then there is one guy who's the definition of fucking because of whichever reason for, and he just starts to like to like steal from the charity, and then you are that brave of a good man as a CEO, right? And to like give the chance to turn yourself in, and then the fucking happens to a CEO. I mean, I feel really sorry for this dude. Honestly, like I hope he's well now. I hope he because that comment was 5 years ago, so I hope the CEO's coffee is warm every day in the morning, and if he is in another country where it is only cold coffees like Freddo cappuccino, I hope his coffee in the morning is cold. Whatever. I hope his coffee is well every morning, and that he got over it. I can't imagine how breaking that could be for a man, honestly. Let's get into the next story. And we end today's episode with currently, if there is one, I don't know about it, but at my previous employer, I was the scandal. Ooh, I started seeing my boss in a fast food restaurant. I was a team member and she was the store manager. So there was a good 2-3 levels of management between us. We flirted a lot at work and then started sleeping together. And all of a sudden, I was able to get away with a lot more. I ended up caring about her a lot and left the store just so I could date her uninhibited. Didn't want her to lose her job. Well, can happen that you fall in love in the middle of like a fast food restaurant. And then it's better that you like, I don't know, talk with the people who are in charge with it, but good that you left the job so she doesn't lose her job. I don't know, is that real love or not? At the end of the day, I mean, debatable, because is it morally correct to do this at work? No, but are we living in a society that loves each other? Most of the time, we should. And ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think about it. That's it for today's story. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more. I'll be back soon with more crazy Reddit stories. See you soon. Bye.